Hello. If you have been following along with me, I've been doing a proverb of the day, and today was Proverb 27. And I read, and I said, when I did this, I promised that I would go and do a live around verse 17. And I just kind of explain my thoughts around it because one of my most favorite verses where it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend." That's in the NLT version. Hi, I'm Melody Self, and I'm a health and wellness life coach, and I help you become your best healthy selves. When you when we think about things differently, the things we think about change, right? So right here in the I looked it also up in the amplified version, and in the amplified it says iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. What do you see whenever you think of iron sharpening iron? And why would it be in there? Have you ever been with your friend or with your brother, with your sibling, with your spouse, and here you are? Do you feel sometimes like the sparks are flying? And hopefully it's done in love, but when it isn't, what is it? I'm not so sure that it feels really good when the iron is sharpening iron. And I always have this image in my mind of sparks flying and I see them really red hot. Well, I looked up pictures of iron sharpening iron and I did see that it was glowing, glowing vibrantly red. And definitely I would not want to touch that or experience it. So why do I like this verse? Because I feel like in relationships, with my kids, I'm a mom of 7, with family members, with even it could be coworkers, with a spouse, all these different situations, and it doesn't feel good if we're not getting along, we don't see eye to eye. But if we allow it and we really understand that the people in our life are gifts to us and that they're going to help us and it's like looking in a mirror, they're reflecting to us, what can we see in ourselves? And so instead of getting angry at that person, let's look. We don't have to have the sparks flying like that, but it still doesn't mean it feels good. Maybe we're still glowing red hot, not so that we're on fire, but so that we are seeing the opportunity to have a change within ourselves, not because we can't change that other person. We can control me. I can control me. I can control the way I think about things. I can control the way I feel about things. Sometimes I don't agree with myself. Why did I say that? I might say something and then I go back, and I used to be really, really, really self-critical a lot more than I am now. And I would go and I would think about what I said, and hate what I said. I mean, I might have done one of these videos and try to record it 20 times and go, none of them are good enough, and never even release anything because I was so self-critical. And so if you are, anytime we're in relationship, we're going to have disagreements, even with myself. That's what I'm just trying to say here. And does it feel like sparks are flying? Does that mean that you should, I'm not talking about abuse, I'm not going to that, but just because you have a disagreement, does that mean the whole relationship needs to be done? Or even in I'm going to say even in abuse, I have learned, what can I learn about myself? And I would always look back to myself. What can I change? How can I do? What can I think differently so that I don't? So any part of me that's creating the pattern can change. And so I always say that the people that are most difficult are our greatest teachers and our greatest gifts. And we can learn so much about ourselves, and we can learn and we can grow, or there's many, we can grow two ways, right? We can grow better or we can grow bitter. So it's your choice. And that's why I love this verse, because I think it's such a great visual and such a dramatic visual of what it's like sometimes as we work out our relationships. And it doesn't feel good when someone else can see something about us that we don't see as a flaw or a fault or negative, but they do, because they have a different eyes and they see things differently. And if we can always look back and go, what can I learn? Always ask, what can I learn? So that the iron sharpening the iron isn't a bad thing. It's a gift. And, in in the images that I saw, they were using it as a tool. They were making the iron into a tool to be used and to be, I don't know, almost like wielded. But when it's just a blob, it's not being used effectively. So they're shaping it into something that's useful, something that is a blessing, something that is that is going to bring that's going to be better than its prior form. And I think that if we can think of our relationships in that way, it helps us to be a better person. It helps us to show up differently. It helps us maybe to have more understanding, not only about ourselves, but about someone else, which to me is always a gift. So I believe that relationships, even if the sparks are flying, that's still a gift. And I want to grow and be better. And I want to have, I never want to stay constant where I get, what's the word? Just okay with being mediocre. I always want to elevate. That's always important to me, to become better, to think better, and to really improve and to have a better, healthier me. Just like I want you to have a better, healthier you, right? And that's what my mission is. So I hope this has helped you on some of my thoughts about it. I don't. If you have any more questions or you have reactions, then let me know. I'd love to hear. You can follow along on my YouTube. You can, if you're a mom or then you would like encouragement, I have a private group that's called Encourage Her. You can get an invite. Um, and I look forward to connecting with you. I will continue reading the proverb of the day. And I love y'all guys, and I hope to see y'all next time.